going on, my YouTube family? It's your boy Zary, and I am here with another Awaken Chaos Air video, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why I think you might be farming wrong, because I was a little bit guilty of this, and, you know, when I made the video of things that you need to stop doing, I talked about stop farming dungeons so early in the game. Now, I took it a step further because I was doing the foodie quest where you had to get up 3 characters to glyph level 4. So when I was doing that, I noticed some things that I really wanted to talk to you about. I kind of nerded out a little bit and put some math into it and broke it down a little bit more in depth so you could see the difference. Now, there's maybe a 15 to 20% population of this game that this isn't going to apply to. If you are a whale or a kraken and you're already farming 5 to 6 star gear out of the dungeons, then this might not apply for you. And unless you're going to make like an alt account, you're going to make a free to play account. Now for the dolphins, the minnows, and the free to play especially, I think this is going to be extremely eye-opening and can very, very much help you out. So at this point in the game, I just got my first 6 star. I'm taking it slow. I have spent money in the game, which is fine. But I'm not an uber whale. I'm not a kraken by any stretch of the imagination. I am simply kind of going at my own progression, and I think a lot of people are probably in the same boat I am. Not everybody's got a completely pimped out Topa or Ash team or the Gemini Dragon teams. There's plenty of dolphins out there that might be struggling to get to a particular dungeon because they're missing that one piece to build that team out. So you're kind of using the same team for every dungeon, which I'm starting to break away from, but for the sake of this video, I did it so all the numbers and everything is accurate, right? So the first thing I wanted to talk to you about is I think people who get their mindset, I gotta farm this piece of gear because I'm gonna get it so much better out of the dungeon. And based on what I've learned, it's wrong. You're not maximizing your bread, you're not maximizing your energy, you're not even maximizing your time right this early into the game. And that's just my strong opinion on how it is. And I kind of have the numbers to back it up, which we're going to go over here. Now, big thing is, right, I tried to make this as even as I could. So what I did is I went into the adventure, and I went into the hard adventure, and I went to chapter 5. And I didn't progress at all in the hard chapter today because I was doing this. So, 5-3. This is where I farmed. I did 5-3. It is 8 bread. For the sake of the video, I did 100 runs. I did 10 battles in a row, okay? And what can we get out of here? We can get a 1 all the way through 1 through 4 star of a common, a rare, and an epic. Okay? You get jelly, you get gold, you get glyphs, and you can get summoning crystals. And summoning crystals for everybody but that 20% of the game we have right now is still good. You can still get your elites out of there. You're getting your food out of there to feed your other characters with. So these are still somewhat useful for you, right? And as you can tell, I've done some grinding. I got 231 of them right now. So I put that up against the test of this. So I went into Tulpa, and I ran stage 6. Also 8 bread. Now, so I ran 100 battles of Tulpa. So we're still spending the same amount of energy. We're spending 80 bread, 800, right? And I had, just to show you, I had like 46 of these. I have 17 now. So, and I kind of think it sucks they're only 50. Come on, they couldn't give us half of the diamonds with 60 or even 80. Anyways, that's besides the point. So what can you get out of Tulpa? Well, you can get 3 to 4 star gear. Drops gear with the maximum rarity of rare through epic. So you have rare, elite, and epic. But in Tulpa, you're only limited to the Terror set, the Vanguard set, and the Rage set. So if you wanted a different style of set, you got to play a different dungeon, which requires a different team, right? So that's part of what I'm going to talk about at the end of this video. So let's get over to how I'm a nerd, and let's break this down, right? Now, what are we missing from the dungeons? At this point in time, we're missing the ever so important XP jellies. They are huge to come by. So 10 battles, you will receive 23,600 XP jellies running the campaigns. Running the dungeons, you only receive a measly 6,800 per 10 battles. That is a massive difference, and everybody needs XP jellies. So to progress in this game, you got to get your characters higher. To get higher, you need the XP jellies. So that's why I wanted to start with that. It's extremely, extremely important that, and it should be the number one reason, is when you're grinding away, you get XP jellies, right? Next thing we got to talk about is gold. Now, dungeons do take the cake on gold. Now, in the level 5-3, running 10 battles, you get 9,800 gold. In dungeons, you get 16,000 gold. So in dungeons, you are getting more gold. Now, as you progress your gear higher and higher, that's when gold kind of starts crunching, right? But I'm going to talk about this a little later because you're really not putting that much into your gear at this level. You're waiting for those awesome pieces. You're not getting awesome pieces out of the campaign, and you're not getting awesome pieces out of the dungeon. That's a big spoiler alert for everybody out there. So you might say, Zeri, how does a dungeon compare to campaign? Simply because the fact of XP jelly, you're not running a dungeon for XP jelly, you're running a dungeon to get gear. And you're absolutely correct. So, let's check out the gear from campaign. Now, when it comes to the gear from campaign, you get 10 pieces per 10 runs. So you're getting 1 piece of gear per 10 runs. Here's the drop rate of everything I received. My 1-star gear, I had a 9% of my gear was 1 star, 37% of my gear was 2 star, 41% of my gear was 3 star, and 13% of my gear was 4 star. Okay? Now, if you're running the 8 bread like Tulpa or Ash, you can only get 3 to 4 star gear, so of course you're going to be higher, but there's another benefit to getting a 1 and a 2 star gear, which I'll talk about at the end. But that's the amount and the percentage wise of what I was seeing averaged out during those 100 runs. So in the previous slide, we talked about the 1-star gear, which we had 9% drop. Out of the 9% 1-star gear I got, these are the rarities of gear that I saw. Now, in the campaign, you're allowed to get common gear, rare gear, and elite gear. Common is the gray gear, rare is the green gear, and then elite is the blue gear. So I saw 17% common, I saw 69% rare, and 14% elite out of my 1-star gear. Out of my 2-star gear, I saw 16% common, 62% rare, and then 22% elite. Now, not much of a difference, but I was seeing a little more elite on 2-star gear, and it's 2-star gear. Even at this level, you really don't want 2-star gear, but at least the numbers are trending in the right way, and as the gear gets more usable, I'm getting higher quality of that gear, if that makes any sense. Now we're moving on to 3-star gear. 3-star gear, we saw drop a total of 41% of the time out of campaigns. That's pretty solid. I'll take that all day, especially on a lot of this gear we're never going to use again in our entire lives. So the 3-star gear broke down like this. I saw 21% of it came back common. Now, is that because we're getting so much more of it? Maybe. Did I have bad RNG? Possibly, but we're seeing more common 3-star gear. We're seeing 68% of it be rare gear, and then we're seeing 11% be elite. So that elite did go down, but a rare or an elite, I would take that in a 3-star gear for where I'm using some of these characters, because your main characters that you're using to farm the campaign, you're probably putting all that good gear you got out of campaign onto your characters. Next one up is the 4-star gear. Now the 4-star gear that did drop for me, we had 13% of the gear was 4-star gear, but only 6% of that 14% was common, and 69% was rare, and 25% was elite. So at least with these numbers, you're learning the 4-star gear you get is pretty good. Rare and elite almost over 90% of the time. Can't really complain about that at all, and I found that to be extremely interesting because no matter, out of the 100 runs, 6% isn't a heck of a lot. Maybe 4 pieces? Not a whole lot. So usable 4-star gear you're getting out of campaigns. Now the next thing I want to talk about is what sets can we get out of the campaign, and you got to understand this. Now maybe you can't farm chapter 10 yet, right? That's fine. That's the curse set. But maybe you can't get up to a spot where you can farm the curse set out of the dungeons yet either. So that is kind of like a wash to me. But I just wanted everybody to know what sets you could get out of chapter 1. No matter what nodes you farm in chapter 1, it's always going to be a warrior set. Out of chapter 2, again, these are all, no matter what node you farm, you're getting the Terra set. Chapter 3 is Raider set. Chapter 4 is Rage set. Chapter 5 is Raptor set. Chapter 6 is the Vanguard set. Chapter 7 is the Faith set. Chapter 8 is the Revival set. Chapter 9 is Dragon Scale. And Chapter 10 is Cursed. So, what are we missing? So, out of the gear in the campaigns, the sets we're missing is the Aver set, the Assassin set, the Guard set, the Divine set, and the Rebel set. So you're not really missing that much. The Assassin set, okay, there's other sets really out of these those are definitely ender game sets in my opinion, at least from beta and what I've been playing around with. Like the Gemini Dragon is the Guard set, Divine set, and Rebel set. Right? So we're really not missing a whole hell of a lot out of there. And, the Gemini Dragon, to me, that's ender game content. You're trying to build up some of your characters to progress in these dungeons, so there's no reason why. Based on the gear sets we saw and the gear sets we're missing, you can't build a comp out of farming out of the campaigns. So you might say, okay, well, that's nice. What does it look like when we compare it to the dungeons? I did the same thing with the dungeons. Like I said, I went into that 8 bread node on Tulpa. I ran it 100 times. Now in the dungeons, you do get more gear out of there. You get 10 to 12 pieces of gear per every 12 runs. So I got a total of 116 pieces for an average of 11.6 pieces per run. How did that break down? 75 pieces came in at 3-star, which was 65%, and 41 pieces came in at 4-star at 35%. So is it really that much different when you look at that level dungeon compared to the level of campaign we are looking? Because we had 41% for the 3-star in the campaign and 13% in 4-star. Now, you definitely have a way bigger chance of getting a 4-star gear out of the dungeons. That isn't even a question. But majority of the time, you're going to get a 3-star piece anyways, right? So let's see how that gear breaks down for the 3 and the 4 stars by rarity. When it comes to the 3-star pieces of gear, 27% was rare, 55% was elite, and 18% was epic. So when we look back at the campaign for 3-star gear, we had 68% rare and 11% elite. So you're going to get that extra stat bonus out of your 3-star gear if you decide to put gear in from your dungeons in there, right? That's just how it's going to be. In the 18%, you might get that epic, but then again, you know, all these are, whether you get them from the campaign or you get them from dungeons, you still have that RNG fest of what the stats are on that piece. So to me, that's a wash. That you can't argue either way. That's just an absolute wash to me. So let's check out the 4 stars. So out of the 4 stars, we had 31% rare, 49% elite, and 20% epic. So the crazy part is with the 4-star, you're probably going to get a rare or elite. Same thing you're pretty much going to get out of the campaign, because the 4-star gear that dropped out of the campaign is 69% rare, 25% elite. So you're going to get rare or elite based on the statistics. Now this is just a drop of water in the ocean, let's say, but it's 100 runs is nothing. It's a good average for a set of data, right? At least in my mind. So when we take a look at what we found, why is it such a big difference, right? Well, first off, let's go back to the campaigns here for a minute. My number one reason why you should be farming the hard node campaign at this point in time is the XP jelly. We all need it, right? But the other big thing is glyphs. Your characters take such a jump in power, how hard they hit, how much they survive, the higher the glyph level is. If you're following your foodie quest, there's plenty of glyphs within that glyph quest, in that foodie quest, that you're going to want to complete. And in the hard campaign, you're getting the gray and the blue. So you can take somebody up to level 4 glyphs by running the hard campaign. That is an immense amount of stat boost. So even if you were to get that 4-star elite on that 20% drop out of the dungeon, glyphing your person up to level 4 by also getting more XP jelly, getting glyphs, and getting gear on top of that with the shards or the summoning crystals, it's a no-brainer, right? Now, I also talked about why it's not a bad thing to have 1 2-star gear that you're getting. Every day, we have to enhance a piece of gear for our daily quests. You do not want to spend glyphs doing that. You do not want to spend your glyphs leveling up 3 to 4-star gear. You want to save those glyphs for when we're leveling up gear that's 5-star, 6-star. That's what we want to save our glyphs for. So use that crappy gear you get to improve your less crappy gear to help you advance to get the good gear to spend your glyphs on. Or glyphs, I'm sorry, your charms. I had to pause the video there for a minute because I just had an absolute brain fart. But look at all these glyphs I have saved and ready to go. Look at all the charms I have saved and ready to go, right? That is another huge benefit to why you need to be farming hard campaign over farming dungeons at this point in the game. Like I said, unless you're that 20% that's a whale or a kraken, and none of this matters to you. But this information is so valuable for free-to-play players. Because let's go back to our heroes here. We take a look at our heroes, and you want to start, maybe you need somebody like
Mother Earth.
Joseph to help you progress in Ash, right?
I tell you.
So you go into his gear, and right now I got some 4-star gear on here, but you want to take it maybe up to, let's say, so you can get a couple stat bonuses, right? Let's feed some of this gear you're never going to use in your entire life. Save those gear charms, right? And enhance it. Now we took it up. Now we're getting some more speed out of it. It's just invaluable. You're saving your charm resources. You're getting more XP jelly to help you upgrade characters. The only thing you're really not getting the same of is potentially you're getting less 4-star. Potentially, depending on how hard the RNG goes. And you're getting less gold, for sure. But what you're saving in the long run is just absolutely incredible. I mean, let's go take a look at all the XP jelly I got. And I spent some of it, already to get Blackhorn up there to where he is. Right? But let's go to info. I have 422,000 by just farming the campaign, and I probably would have had over 1 million, but I spent a lot to get him up. I brought up another foodie to 5-star, getting ready for my next 6-star. So it just all makes sense. It's like a circle. You want gear, but you're not going to invest a lot into that 3 and 4-star gear anyways. So it doesn't really matter if it's rare or epic, right? Because you're not going to really level it up. Because if you do, you're wasting resources. You're wasting your charms. And those things are so valuable. Do not spend those unless they're 5 or 6-star pieces. So that's what I'm saying. Is you can take those 1 to 2-star crappy gears, feed them in the other gears, get them to get your 4 stars, maybe up to 4 or 6, 8 to get those extra stat bonuses. And you're good to go. Then I already have him up to level 2 by farming the hard campaign. I have enough glyphs to put some more on. Seems to make sense. Now, easy way to do this, to see here, is if there is a character right here, Raven, say I want to build her. I can come right in, I can pound through all this, I can throw on gear that I want now. I can probably, this is from that video I made, so we can probably change some of this out. We can level up a couple that we want to level up, and we could glyph her instantly by spending the same 80 energy in campaigns as the same 80 energy in those 6, level 5, level 6, level 7 dungeons. Now, I'm not saying don't progress in dungeons. That was one of the big things. It's like, and I even said it in the other video, is I'm not telling you not to progress in dungeons. I'm telling you, don't farm crappy dungeons. What I do every single day is I come in here every day and I try to beat the current level I'm on. If I beat that current level, I move to the next level and I try to beat it. And then if I can't, I stop for the day. Now, eventually, I'm going to get to the point where I have a really solid team, and then I can start tweaking my teams. I can build a Tulpa team. I can build an Ash team. I can build a Queen's team. I can build a Witch team, right? That's all going to make sense. But for right now, when I'm trying to get up enough characters to do that, get decent enough gear on them to progress further and further, farming campaigns is the easy choice. So that is what I got for everybody tonight. Just a quick little video of how I think a lot of people are farming wrong in this game. Let me know in the comments down below if you already knew this, if it was interesting to see the stats, or if this was an absolute waste of time. Either way, let me know. So that's what I got, and as always, thank you for the love and the support. The channel is blowing up, honestly, and I'm just in awe of it, and I can't believe that it's happening, to be completely honest. So if you're not part of that XMG family, consider subscribing, like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you don't. I'll sleep either way. So that's what I got for everybody. I love y'all. See you in the next one. I'm out.